Hi, this is Tracy Wilson-Rossman here with Andy Oswald. We're at Chariot Solutions offices, and I'm here to talk to Andy today about how to get started when you're developing an Android application. So, Andy, can you give us some ideas on an approach when you're setting up your development environment?
Sure. Primary resource is going to be android.developer.com. That's a website that Google has set up. And through there, the first thing you're going to want to do is download the SDK. So you download the SDK per your platform, and then depending on your IDE, you can select from Eclipse is probably the most popular one for Android development, and then there's IntelliJ, and I believe there's a NetBeans plugin as well. But probably the majority of the examples on the website are going to be for Eclipse, so that's probably the best bet to go with just for starting out. Now, for Eclipse, you're going to need to install the ADT plugin, and when you do that, it'll ask you to configure that plugin to point at where you installed your SDK. So another step that is kind of lesser known until you actually go and run it is the fact that they don't ship the source with the ADT plugin, or rather that you're going to need to pull down the source from Google's Git repository and assign it to the platform's resources folder. So from there, you're basically up and running with the Android project.
Okay. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the project that you're working on right now?
Sure. I'm working on a project for the emerging technologies for the enterprises, phillyemergingtech.com. It's essentially the conference that Chariot sponsors every year, and we're going to be providing mobile applications to facilitate in figuring out what's going on in the conference.
Are there any other tips or lessons learned that you can tell us about at this time?
Sure. I think after you get your environment set up, you're probably going to need to figure out essentially the starting points for how an application works. Now, again, the best resource is going to be developer.android.com, and on that website, you're probably going to want to look into essentially how the applications themselves run, like the life cycle and the manifest file itself. And then once you're familiar with all that, and what that encompasses, then you can start kind of diving into your own details. But that's pretty much the prerequisite to start doing how you kind of abstract from the primary framework.
Well, great, Andy. Thanks so much for your time. And we're going to be checking back in with Andy as he keeps working on this application. And perhaps next time we'll be able to put up some samples of what it's looking like.
Sure.
Thanks.